It's not the camera, it's not the lens, it's literally the person behind it. You know, you can have 52 megapixels in your cam. You can have a $3,000 lens that's a 1.2. It doesn't mean shit if you don't know how to use it. Yo, what's good? I'm not even gonna waste my time with any extra talking right now. We're just gonna get straight into it. So I noticed on my last video, a few people commented saying that they appreciated that I was acknowledging that you didn't have to use a bunch of expensive gear, which I thought was a great point. So I was like, well, I can make some content around that because I've done this for long enough, and I've done gigs where I've had to bring out a lot of gear, and I've done gigs where I've brought out just me and my camera. So we put a shoot together to show you how you can maximize a simple fashion look with minimal gear. So first things first is lay into your resources. If you know people, reach out to them. If you met a model, know a model, spoke to a model on Instagram, you have some type of pre-existing relationship or contact with this person, reach out to them to see if they're down to bring whatever your vision is to life. So for me, I reached out to my girl Lena. I met her maybe a year or two ago at a shoot here in Las Vegas, shooting for MGM. She was one of the models that we were using for their content day. We just touched bases and swapped contacts. I reached out to her, I had the idea. I shot over my ideas. We put together a vision board. It was like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. I knew the location that I wanted to use. We set the date, we made it happen. Don't make the situation harder than it needs to be, right? So after we situated the shoot and all the details, I reached out to my guy, Sion. He came out, he shot the behind the scenes for us so I could turn this into content for you guys. So let's just touch on some fundamentals real quick. So when you're setting up your shoot, you always want to keep the end goal in mind, right? Especially when you have like a vision board, when you have something to go off of, then you know how you want this to look. You should be aware of the time of day that you're shooting in, because for this, we're going with natural light. So knowing what time of day you're gonna shoot is gonna allow you to know the placement of the sun, given that we're not using any other lights to light our scene. We're just using the sun, just keeping this natural bare minimum camera and model. That's it. So you want to know where that sun's gonna be. Most people are gonna try to tell you shoot in golden hour, and that's great. And we did use golden hour. You can shoot in high sun, but it's gonna be a little tricky. I'm not gonna lie to you. But we shot in golden hour, so we knew that we were gonna catch the sun just as it was entering into sunset, so we knew where it was gonna be. I knew the direction I wanted to shoot. I knew the location already. Know the time that you're going to shoot, because that is crucial for your lighting if you're shooting utilizing the sun. So the next thing I want to talk about is moving your body. Don't get stale and stagnant in one spot and just shoot from there. Even if you're getting great images from that one spot, that doesn't mean that you just have to live there. Majority of people are probably gonna set their subject up directly facing the light because it's gonna light them up, right? So you're using the sun as your key. But you can also use the sun as a backlight. You can use it as a side light. You can shoot with this from multiple angles. So move around, experiment a bit, and see what you get from shooting from these different angles. Backlighting, you can get some nice silhouette shots from that. You could use side lighting, and you could shoot from your shadow side, and you can get something a little bit more cinematic. We don't always have to run from shadows. Shadows can actually add to your shot rather than take away. Just because it's dark doesn't mean that it doesn't complement the image. So it really just depends on the feel that you want for your image. Know this before going into your shoot. And if you don't know that, that's why you move around, so you can experiment and try different things, try new things, and see what you get. Don't get stale in one spot. Another trick to have in your bag is props. Doesn't have to be anything super crazy. For this, we literally pulled out a chair. I have a chair that I store plants on downstairs in my living room. Took the plant off, so yo, you got the day off from this chair, this is on me. Took that out there with us. And we used that as the prop for her to use. We didn't use it the whole time. We probably used it 50% of the time, and she was on it. We rotated the chair around, had her facing the sun, sitting sideways in the chair, forward in the chair. Again, we're experimenting here, you know, but we also had an idea from the rip because we had a vision board to follow off of. And I keep mentioning that vision board because it's pretty vital. You want to plan this thing out, unless you want to go out and run a gun, and I have nothing against that. I'm a running gun king, but sometimes it's good to have a plan too. That way you can really execute and be efficient with your time, especially when you're working with sections of time like golden hour. You're limited to your window of time that you have with the lighting. So that vision board is important. But yeah, using simple props like chairs or stools or anything of that nature, and depending on your location as well, you know, and what you're shooting. But this chair just kind of, I felt like it complemented what we were trying to do. This next one for me is probably one of my most important tips. Control the mood. Expression is key. And I've said this before in my lifestyle video, and it's the same with this. Your subject does not always have to address the audience, meaning they don't have to look at the camera. Having your subject look off camera in any direction except for up. I'm not a big fan of up looks. I don't know what it is about them, but I don't like looking up. But having them look, just change their field of focus from out here. And if you have to, just turn around and give them something to look at. Have them look at this tree. Look out this way towards the car. Look out this way towards the bridge. Give them something to look at too, because a dead gaze, you could see a dead gaze in the image when they're just kind of, you know, when you're in la la land, you're just staring off, your model can slide into that zone. Don't let them slide in that zone. So get them something to look at. That way they're focused on something, and that intent that they're gonna have in their eyes will come through in your photo. And to me, off-camera shots actually look better than the majority of on-camera shots, unless they're just like somebody really just giving you that that you need on the camera, you know what I'm saying? But otherwise, like, just tell them to look off for a couple shots just to see what you get. Again, experiment, try different things. Even looking down gives you a whole nother vibe to your shot. So just try a few different things with your expressions, with your pose, but make sure that you control the mood. Don't just have them look, don't just let them give you RBF and just stare at your camera and think that just because she's a pretty girl that you're getting a good shot, because that's two different departments. That's two different departments. Lastly, we're gonna touch on posing. And to be honest, I wouldn't say that any of these are more important than the other. These are all, everything that I'm speaking on is all vital information and things that you should take into consideration when you're shooting anything. But posing is also key, right? Don't over direct your model. Even if there's something that you specifically want them to do, allow the model to move freely. And when there's something that you see, or they're moving, maybe they're moving in a way that you don't want them to, don't tell them that they're doing something wrong. Just suggest something else for them to do, not over concentrated. So don't be too heavy and too rigorous and too blocky with how you're setting your model up. Like, allow them to move into the positions that they're kind of comfortable in, and then adjust their hand. Just tell them, oh, turn your hand this way, bring your leg this way, whatever. Just make subtle suggestions. Rest back to your seat. There you go, relaxing. Look over the shoulder back this way, boom. Solid. Chin down with that one, right there. Bring your left hand to the hip so you're, exactly. What this does is allows them to be confident within what they're doing, because the minute you start over directing, now they become dependent on what it is that you're telling them to do, and they do absolutely nothing. They freeze up and they're literally waiting for you to tell them their next pose. And again, those images, I guess they can be cool. That's just not my style of shooting. I like the model to move and show me something, and then I'm gonna kind of mold what I like, or what I saw, or what I thought she was gonna do, and I mold what I want to the model and ask them to do that. Yeah, this one you kind of just looking out, and then you're gonna do that right there. So look straight ahead towards the sun, and then you're just gonna turn to the left Make suggestions. Don't over direct the model. It's not about having this certain crispy elbow here and hand here and this, like, no, it's what looks good. How does this image come across to you? How does it feel when you see it? Like, there's just a certain sauce that the image should have. You don't have to over control how you position everything. Everything will fall into place, and when you get that shot, you know you got that shot and you can move on from it. So yeah, don't overdo it with the directing. So after we finished with the photos, we switched over to video, which I do as well. I actually started with video, which I don't really touch on too much on this channel, but I might next year. I might kind of start dabbling into video because a lot of other people know me for video. I just got into photo like 2013, really like 2016 seriously. But prior to that, I was like the video guy only. But yeah, so we switched over to video and I directed that and it came out cool. It was just something, we just wanted to put together a visual. It was nothing crazy or over the top. We just had a great location. We had great lighting. The model was great. The stars aligned for us that day. So we did video as well and just brought basically the images to life. So I'm gonna show you guys that too. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if anybody has questions as far as like maybe you're a photographer and you want to do video, do that because you're holding off for no reason and they're literally the same. If you understand your camera, you understand ISO, you understand f-stop, you understand your shutter, white balance, the fundamentals of your camera, you can do both. So if you're not, you're probably missing out on a lot of work that you could be getting. So do that shit. But yeah, that's it for this one, man. I'm not even gonna hold y'all too long. I wanted to give y'all something short and sweet, show you guys some simple ways that you can create some great images without having to load up all the expensive equipment and buy the most expensive equipment that you can find. It's not necessary. A lot of people go overboard with purchasing the newest camera. I say this a lot. I'm probably gonna continue to say it. It's not the camera, it's not the lens, it's literally the person behind it. You know, you can have 52 megapixels in your cam. You can have a $3,000 lens that's a 1.2. It doesn't mean shit if you don't know how to use it. So that being said, you know, create freely, use your imagination, use your resources, and experiment. Go out there and do stuff, man. And like I always say, if this inspires y'all to do anything, DM it to me so I could check it out, give you some feedback. I mean, that's what we're here for, to, you know, build a community around it. And if I can help y'all in any way, let me know. Drop it in the comments, shoot me a message. I don't even know if you can message on YouTube. I guess I'm that old head, but you can always message me on TikTok. You can message me on Instagram. I got those, so I'm not that old. But yeah, that's it for this one, man. I don't want to drag it out too much. I will hit y'all with this though. We did just drop the Equinox collection for Send Deposit. These hoodies are as comfortable as they get. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was surprised at how comfortable they were when they came in. That's why I'm wearing it now. The last one that I had on the last video was a sample. This is the legit joint. So if you look at the difference between that one and this one, you can see how it fits, how it falls on you. This is prime for any photographer, videographer. You outside, you wear one of these, you don't even have to say it. Like they're gonna send the deposit without you having to say it. Say less, like that's say less. You don't even have to tell nobody. Send the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Paid in full, boom. But yeah, make sure you guys smash that like button so we can get this one in rotation. Subscribe if you haven't yet. And push that notification bell so you know next time I drop, because the next ones are gonna come sooner than this one came before the last one. I'm out.